Welcome back to Judith Plains, Montana. I'm BP, and this is the 555 Challenge. Had a quick upgrade installed on the farm between episodes, guys. Got the new steel power washer. Figured it was time to start taking care of our equipment. Wanted to get a couple of things washed off this morning before we get started. So that'll about do it. But there is the new steel wall-mounted mod that came out this week. Wanted to bring that into the play. So we have a lot going on this month. We got all of the grass and all of the clover mowed and baled and put into the fermenting silo last month. And this morning we woke up to 1 million liters of silage, which I sold about 800,000 liters of that, which funded our new purchase, which is our Valtra seeder, so we can get corn in the ground today. I really like this one. It's got a good working with. It does solid and liquid fertilizer, holds seed, and only requires 250 horsepower, which is nice. So I went to the shop, picked that up this morning, wanted to share that with you guys before we got it off the trailer. So let's go ahead and get the ramps down. And I think we're going to the ramps down and hopefully stay down. There we go. Hopefully, I think we're going to do this with the quad track since we have the mowers hooked up to the Magnum, and that just got a bunch of hours on it doing all of that mowing. Now, we did have the Crone windrower and the Crone baler with bale collect on it. And guys, I got to tell you, that thing gave me absolute fits on this grass field. There are, if you look out, you can just see at the top of the screen, there's dark little spots all over this field. It was missing just an absolute ton of grass. I had to go back. I was spending more time going back and getting grass, and still, even after driving over it, not getting all of the grass off the field than it took to have the worker do all of the baling. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but it was not what we wanted. So what we went ahead and did was a little bit of farm ingenuity and talked to the guys up at the shop, and they have Crone makes a baler with the bale collect and the windrower built in. So I talked to them about how the pieces we have would work that way, and it looks like they did work it out where you can get everything connected up. So real quick before we go ahead and drop seed in here, I want to show you guys down here, we are now running the connected windrower baler and bale collect, system on here, which has worked so much better. I'm not sure why having it on the front of the tractor was so broken, but I did the grass field the old way and the clover field with that new setup, and it worked so much better. So let's see, do we have anything here? Let's see, herbicide, seed. So we do have, we're going to need to go to the store and get some solid fertilizer. I should have picked that up on my way in this morning. Either way, let's go ahead and get the seed out of here. Big bag of seed, that'll work. And get the 2 smaller ones out, or the 2 full ones out. Let's go ahead and get those filling up. And I will run to the shop and be right back when we have some seed. See you guys in a minute. Guys, I said we're going for seed, but I meant fertilizer. But in the end, we got seed and fertilizer. Went ahead and stocked up a little bit to try to keep the farm moving. We are burning through a lot of fertilizer right now on our grass and clover fields, which I'm hoping to get switched over to manure here in the very, very near future. Just need a manure spreader to come up in the sale or find a good deal on one. We did have one in there, but we just didn't have the funds for it. So let's go ahead and get the quad track pulled out with the new seeder, and let's go ahead and pull right up alongside the trailer, and let's get things filled up. So I am still really enjoying the, I believe it's Loki's fill all mod or bulk fill mod, where you just click once and it just fills everything up. A very, very nice mod. In this situation, we're, you know, obviously 4 or 5 bags of fertilizer in and have not had to click over to keep using or to keep filling on each individual bag. So now we pull up a little bit, let it reset, and then I think we come back and get the seed. Let's see how that goes. I don't know if it's too high to register. No, it is not. Seed is filling up as well. Had him paint the tanks, the seed tanks on here, case red. That's a nice look with the red, white, and black, just like the case. So I enjoyed that little detail that they did for us up at the shop. Head over to our field. We're going to put this guy on a worker. We have a bunch of other tasks to do today. I got some stuff started this morning before heading up to the shop and getting our seeder, but wanted to have everything ready for you guys. So here we go. It's set up here, heading into the corner. As you guys can see, we did not find a rock picker. Figured we'll just have to deal with that in the next one. Thinking 3 headlands, all square corners. Let's go ahead and, yeah, want to make sure we have lots of room to turn around. So let's go ahead and start that course. Okay, and then we have seeder, so we need a new folder called planter. We are on field 54. So, planter, save course, field 54, and away this guy goes. I mean, I think this is probably going to go pretty well. There aren't really any obstacles. There's a tree down at that end. We'll see if he gets by that. But for right now, let's go make sure the GPS is all set and good to go here. I'm not sure that we actually set this case up for field work and speed and everything. Oh, we did. Perfect. So he is all set. Looking good. Planting corn. Yep. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. That is good to go. And then we have the roller we can come back with afterwards. So next on the agenda for today, we are starting to get a significant number of animals in our husbandry, which is great, specifically our cows, which means we have finally produced a reasonable or usable amount of manure. When we had like 600 liters of manure, it was not very helpful, so I got a couple of tractors over here this morning and was in the process of loading when they gave us the call about the new planter being ready, and I wanted to get that picked up so we could have that on the farm first thing this morning and get that going. So this is a little bit of a tricky manure heap because of the angle of the ground, but we're going to get it done. And let's get a better view of what's going on here. Okay, there we go. Maybe even in cab might be easier. Let's see. And I think we were about 2/3 full, so 5 or 6 of these is going to do it. Let's see what in cab looks like in the old Versatile. Didn't quite get a full bucket load there. Let's see. There we are. Still getting used to using the manure forks to hold everything in. We do have a skylight there. That is nice. Cool. That is working nicely. I don't know that I have a lot of experience using a manure fork, particularly one this small, but it is nice. The teeth actually bite down and matter. So let's see. It's going to be this motion. Yep. Just getting used to it on the old Farmstick. Okay, let's see. And then release the forks, and away we go. So we are getting close to being full here. I think maybe one, maybe two more of these. You can see just the angle that we're at to get access to this stuff. Oh, we're tipping it out. Tipping it out. Don't want to put it back in. That hill is making it hard. It's rolling us forward, whether we want to or not. Alright, I think we're going to be pretty close to full here. This, I'm thinking, is going to be our last one. Oh, didn't get much on that one. Could be hitting the bottom of the manure heap, too. There we are. Alright, even if this isn't the last one, I think we're full enough. We're going to run this manure over to the greenhouses. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think we are full officially. So let's go ahead and put the manure fork down in or around the manure heap. We'll need it back over here next time. Go ahead and disconnect that. Get the versatile out of the way. Alright. That worked well. Yep, we are full. 19,600 liters of manure. Our little case. I love this tractor. It definitely, we are at its limit with some of the loads we ask it to take. It is, we are pedal to the metal right now, and 10 miles an hour is all we're seeing out of it. But you don't really want a big, powerful tractor for driving around the farm. You just end up crashing into things. Going a little bit slower is not a problem. We are going to go out to the main road. We're not taking this through the little ravine there, our shortcut we use with the beast. I don't want to risk tipping this thing over or dumping it out. So that would be an interesting mechanic to add to Farm Sim if you could, you know, when your trailer is tipped over, if you had bulk items, and maybe if they were uncovered, you know, they'd leak out. We'd have to see how that mechanic would work. But you know, definitely could be an interesting thing to add. There are other games that have some, you know, realistic driving mechanics, and when you go over uneven ground, you shake a little bit loose each time, which is a nice gameplay feature. So now we got to get this spread out amongst the 3 greenhouses. So it's the first 3. Let's get zoomed back a little bit. We can see what we're doing here. Okay, so we need to put about 6,000 in each one. See how quickly it comes out here. Pay attention to the number here. Super focused. Oh, this is not going to be bad. Okay. This is not bad at all. Perfect. Okay, moving on to the next one. And guys, with the addition of the manure, because we haven't put any manure in these before, we will be able to start increasing our production for our artisan oils, which I believe I checked last episode off camera. We are basically burning through everything we're sending over there. So we have the ability to produce more canola, sunflower, and rice, and our oil plant will still be able to handle it. So that is going to be good news too. So let's jump in here. Quick update on the leasing. Basically, I can't figure out a way to return the leases on these vehicles. So with that in mind, what I've done is just created basically a solar panel or a generator that gives me the money for the lease each month when we're not using it. So I just put it in when we're not using it, and then I uninstall the generator when we are not, or when we are using it, And that way we're getting charged appropriately, because I loaded the mod in and loaded the mod off, but because everything on this map is, you can't remove it, it's permanent, there's just no way to effectively do that and make it work. So we're just trying to make the money right, and they'll just be on here until we eventually figure out how we're going to purchase them, which will be an interesting thing, because if we've leased them and can't purchase them, it may be a bit of a struggle. But that's enough about that for now. So we are going to switch over. We're going to turn off the canola. So let's see. Right now we're doing 864 cycles a month and producing, that's 6 and 12. So this is 288, which is twice, but it's producing 12 instead of 6. So if you look at the math here, guys, we're doing 864 cycles per month, and we're producing 6 canola for each cycle. With the manure, we're doing 288 cycles, but we're producing 12 canola, so twice as much. So we're actually at about 576 cycles at 100%. So we are good to go here. So we're going to turn this one off. We're going to turn this one on. We're going to boost it up to 300%, which will produce us a lot more. We'll come in here. We'll turn off the regular rice, turn on the manure rice, bump that production up to 300%. And then our final one for the sunflowers, turn that one off, turn that one on, and boost it up to 300% with the manure. Now, I'm not sure how it's going to go with the actual manure if we're going to burn through it, because right now that was a couple months worth of manure there. So if we're burning through the manure faster than we're producing it, we have to go back and turn on the water recipe again. But for right now, we will leave it there. The Case Quad Track is just doing its thing over there. It seems to be happy as can be, working away in the background. That's what we like. That's what we want. A little Case 90C. Let's go ahead and grab some water. Make sure everything's topped off with the water. That one seems to be full already. Okay, so yeah, we're taking this a little bit in, which is great. All we need. Make sure everyone's moving along. I did bring a load of wheat over from our last warehouse, or our last greenhouse here, and top off the chickens this morning. Just keeping everything moving. That warehouse is working great, which is allowing us to use our barley for the flour. Now, that is an interesting point, because our barley has all been turned into flour. So if you take a look at our production, we have no barley left in the production. We're at all zeros. It did send a little bit of rice over. It is sending that over there. So I guess we'll turn on rice production. I'm not sure why wheat was on. Must have bumped that. And then barley, we don't have any more, so we'll turn that off. And maybe we'll produce a little bit of rice flour on the side as well. So we're going to run down and pick up the flour. And we're going to try a little trick that worked in Farm Sim 22. I haven't tried it in Farm Sim 25. It's a little bit cheaty, but it's, it's just for fun. So we'll see if it works on the productions on this map or in Farm Sim 25, and maybe give us just a little bit of extra cash. So we'll have to go see. But anyways, our goats and sheep are doing well. Last time I checked, they were down to about 9,000 liters of grass, eating quite a bit every day. We have over 100 animals in that pen now. So I expect that we will be putting hay in there soon, which is great. I've got a whole bunch of hay. I think it was like 73 or 74 bales of hay we have over in our bale shed. So just waiting for that. And our chickens, we have almost our first pallet of eggs, which is always the big hurdle when starting out on your farm. We are up to 224 chickens. I think we had 30 or something born this morning. So they are starting to produce quite quickly. So let's go grab our truck and trailer here. We got to get the seed and the fertilizer put on the racks real quick. And then we're going to run down to the grain mill and pick up our flour. Man, this was not a good setup for this turn. Gonna have to snap this trailer around tight to get it where we need it to be. Probably gonna have to do a pull-up on it. Yeah, we're jackknifed down the trailer. It's not gonna give us any more. Okay, here we go. And while we have the trailer here and the case, Squad Track is out in the field, we could get a quick wash on the trailer because it is dirty. One more pull-up here, guys. Told you the little downhill into these doors, for whatever reason, maybe it's just a me problem, it probably is, but it just makes it a bit of a struggle for me to get everything lined up. I feel like they don't quite react. The trailer doesn't quite react at the end right where I want it to. So let's jump out. We could even give the truck a quick wash as well. So, oh, are we doing it the other way now? Yeah, I don't understand why power washers constantly switch which button you use to turn them on. Sometimes it's X, sometimes it's the left mouse button. I don't know why that changes. When I was washing earlier, it was one, now it's the other. But hey, gets the job done. Looking good, getting clean. Come up here, got to be careful we don't get out of the reach of the power washer. Does not have a very long reach, but that's okay. Yeah. Clean truck, looking good. Not a big deal on the farm, but doesn't hurt to have it either, so. Alright, so I'm gonna head down to the grain mill and grab our flour, and then we gotta drive it up to the bakery. So I will see you guys down at the grain mill. Guys, I always forget when we come down this way that if we're going to the grain mill, we should go the other way by our neighbor's farm. This way, just all the winding turns with the big trailer, underneath the bridges, all that kind of stuff, we should just come down the other way. But not a big deal. Let's go ahead and get over here to the grain mill. We'll head out that way, and I'll show you guys the other way you can get down here, which just makes it so much easier. So, that road construction down there, and I believe the pickup for our stuff is going to be back here. So let's go ahead and, oh, that looks like one of ours. Maybe there's, let's see, barley. Now let's turn it to storing. Yep, let's get everything popped out. Yeah, right here at the back. Oh, that is quite a long row of flour. I did not expect there to be that big of a pickup area, but hey, no complaints. And do we have more in here is the question. It says we have another 21,000 liters, guys. That would be a lot of flour. Here it comes. Wow, guys, I gotta say, I was not expecting this much flour. Wow, that is a lot of flour. Okay, well, we have rice still in there, so let's turn everything back to distributing so it doesn't... Don't want the rice distributing or selling or storing. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. We want it all distributing. Okay. Man, guys, look at that. That is an absolute boatload of flour. All right, well, I'll see you guys up at the bakery, which is down by the shop. So I got a little bit of drive ahead of me. I'll see you guys down there. I forgot, guys, I told you I'd show you the other way out. So here we are. We came in from the left over there, which is sort of the back way. If you head out to the right over here and just drive through the old man in the crosswalk, you come down here and look at this nice, straight, wide open road. Got the ethanol plant on your right. But this is, oh goodness, we didn't strap down our load, guys. This is bad. All right, let's get out here. What happened to our pallet of flour? We got a pallet of flour down. Watch out. All right, let's just get this guy back on the trailer. Probably should have been put up here anyways. And then this other one, I think the last little bit of our auto load is just past where the last strap will hold it. So let's see. Yeah, that we hooked that last one. So anyways, now that the flour is back on the trailer, with this nice wide straight road that comes in by the grain mill. We could also come down this way for the oil mill. And it drives right past our neighbor's farm. And you can just see in the background there on the top right, that bridge that goes up. That's where our farm is, up left on the ridge. We take that bridge on the right to get up there. But we can come down here and you hook a right in front of this really nice white and brown farm. And you end up at the bottom of the bridge rather than driving through Hobson, which is a nice town and all, but just has lots of turns and narrow roads and bridges and shopping malls and all that kind of stuff, which is not designed for what we are looking for. So the route we took here was down to the right over there, into Hobson and through town, and we want to avoid that and come down through here. So now that I've followed through on showing you guys where that is, I will see you guys at the bakery. Guys, I just had an interesting experience and wanted to correct something I said earlier. We were coming up the hill from the flour mill, and you guys can see I got a full tank of gas. I started flashing, and my gas was dropping, or my fuel was dropping very, very rapidly. So I was like, hey, you know what? We're going to drive by the farm. I'll just swing by and fill up since we have that nice fuel tank right by the farm ready to go. And as I told you guys previously, it was full when we bought the farm. So I pulled in and I filled up, and I was charged $355 to fill up with gas. So the gas tanks on this map are not full. They are just like gas stations where you can use them and they charge you, which is very, very interesting. The other thing is I have fuel consumption on high, and you guys can see I filled all the way up, and from the farm to town carrying this heavy load, you can already see how much fuel I've burned through. So just absolutely guzzling diesel over here. So let's see where this is. The bakery right there. Man, I did not set up for this turn very well. Let's see what we can do. Not hit the building and let's not hit people, at least as much as possible. Alright. Well, we clipped the building. Well, let me get the interactive zone markers turned on so we can figure out where this stuff is going, and I will be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. This is the second attempt at this. So I tried the old Farm Sim 22 trick of selling the flour to the bakery first and then trying to buy it, and it didn't work, which is perfectly fine. I was going to refund the money if it worked anyways, but I wanted to see if that old Farm Sim 22 sort of sneaky little move worked or not. So I had to reset, but we are here now. We did not have enough money to buy the bakery. It was $50,000, so I sold our propane tanker, which we used once and spent about $55,000 or $65,000 on, maybe even a little bit more. So now we can afford to buy the bakery for $50,000. I think bread's going to be something we're going to produce pretty much regardless. So now let's take our trailer and go ahead and get backed up into the trigger point and get all of our flour dropped off, guys. Here we go. Okay, so that is all in there. Let's jump into the production and get the bread going, and we will bump that up on the production scale. We want that distributing. We want all of this distributing. So if we come back and build anything, pasta, what is the recipe for pasta? Flour, eggs and butter, so we could make pasta eventually, guys. That would be really fun to do too. All right, so that's going to be pretty much it for this episode. After the corn is done being planted, I will get the roller probably on the Versatile and go roll that field to maximize our yield, or at least maximize what we can on that field. And then I will pick up with you guys next episode in June. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to drop a like and turn on notifications for more videos. And I'll see you in the next one.